Welcome to Big Money Stylist. We're on episode Sweet 16. Can you believe it?
It's been 16 weeks. That is a long time.
Yeah.
That's shocking. So we have some exciting news for you guys today. Of course, you know myself, and of course, you know Val, but we are joined here by a third musketeer. Her name is Jillian. Jillian, say hello.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
So tell us about yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? What's up? They want to get to know you.
You know, I'm just a casual gal from a tiny town. Just kidding. Not from a small town. I'm Jill. I am Val's assistant, you know, her right-hand man, whatever she wants to call me for the day. I moved here about 6-7 months ago from Utah, and I just was obsessed with Natural Beaded Rows, with BMS. I had actually signed up for BMS. So then when the opportunity that Val needed an assistant, I was like, sign me up. I'll be on the next flight out. I have been, you know, just obsessed forever, and so now I'm really excited to be here. And this is like a dream come true. My heart is pounding out of my chest. Am I sweating? Can you guys smell it?
No, but you're glistening just a little bit on camera. I'm kidding. You look totally fine. Now
You're
she's
glowing.
sweat.
Now she's like, oh, fuck, I'm actually sweating, but that's okay, too. So, yeah, we are super excited to have Jillian here. She's actually coming on to BMS as a co-trainer for NBR, and she'll be with us. Yeah. So she'll be with us all the way through June, and then from there, we figure out the very next piece. You guys have heard us say a million times that no one is just brought onto the team ever for any reason. So this is Jillian bleeding and hustling and working fucking hard. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
So excited. So today, we're obviously going through, we have 4 topics that we go through, one every single week. We have power, production, profit, and protection. This week is going to be all about profit. So, Jillian, I'm coming to you. When you hear the word profit, what does that mean to you?
An abundance, something more than you had. Profit is just like, yeah, basically you're having an abundance of something.
Cool. Val, what does it mean to you?
The manifestation of your hard work.
Ooh, I like it. Manifestation. I like that word.
Manifest your life.
So with that, the very first thing we want to talk about is a lot of times artists come to us and they hear that DKW is a commission salon, and the first thing they say is, what the fuck? Like, why would you work there? Like, that's crazy. That's weird. So one topic that I want to really hit on, because I've come such a long way and I fucking sacrifice left and right to be here. Val has done the exact same. It's been 2 years of just holy fucking like course corrections and turning left when you can. And then Jillian just made the same exact leap. So Val, I'm coming to you first. Talk to us about taking a step forward or taking a step back in order to take like 10 more steps forward.
Yeah, I think people get stuck in like their story and like where they're at and the path that they're on, and they get like an ego about it and they won't look at the big picture. So for me, I was in booth rent, and I like had so much pride in that I've always done booth rent, and I was like, you know, my own employer and didn't work for anybody. And then the opportunity came for DKW styling, and it was commission. So I went back as a commission stylist, and I went back as an assistant, which I had been already doing hair 12 years when I started here. So it was definitely like a step back, but I saw like the vision from the get-go, like where we were headed, where we were going. So I didn't mind it. I put my ego aside, like whatever. And I had so many people saying like, why would you go? Why would you leave like your full clientele to go be an assistant somewhere? And then you're just going to end up working at a commission salon. I'm like, because I see the vision and wait for it. So I definitely like, and with that, with putting my ego aside and the story that I had and taking a step back now, like I can't even believe where my life is and all the stuff that I'm doing. So that to me is like taking a step back so that I can like catapult and go forward.
And Jillian, what about you?
So for the longest time I was assisting, but I had people like whispering in my ears like, why are you doing that? And then I was also working a second job on the side. So I just wasn't completely putting my heart completely into hair, so therefore I was taking away from time that I could book clients. I wasn't able to get them in because I was answering phones at a desk job, which I hated. My life was miserable. I had no pictures to post because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't honing my skills. So then finally I just quit all my jobs, and I realized I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to make as much money as I am at like my however much it was an hourly rate, because I was sure that I was going to make that, but I knew that my passion was going to be hair. So I needed to be able to practice, learn from someone else, take a step back just to go forward. As she's saying, it'll catapult you forward. I loved assisting, but now like I get to assist someone with a vision for me. At first I was assisting someone else and there wasn't kind of a forward view, like I didn't see. So then I broke off for a little bit. I started doing booth rent, but I was just sitting around waiting, and I wasn't able to practice my skills as much as I am now when I'm assisting. I didn't know what to do on clients. So it's just, I mean, you take a step back, you think you're where you're at, where you want a booth rent, and you're like, whatever, this is what everyone tells you is like the final step in the hair industry. You go from assisting to commission and then booth rent. That's when you know you've made it. But seriously, going back to assisting, I have just humbled myself so much, and I love it so much. And then from a commission salon, you have 40% of endless possibilities, as Garrett always says. Booth rent, you know, can be good for you, but just make sure that you're, again, humbling yourself and just looking at what is your end result, what is your vision. Are you with a team that has the same vision as you? And that's kind of just moving forward, like just basically humbling yourself.
And that's something super similar that I had dealt with as well, like Val and both of you spoke about. I was in St. Louis. I had my own suite. I'd had it for, I don't know, 2-3 years at that point. I was making great money and I loved it, but I got the opportunity to come down to California and work inside DKW. I left my job, my suite, working for myself, which, guys, even that last year, 2016, I did the math. I think I took like 60 some days of vacation, not even including my weekends off. So clearly, I don't even know when I worked, but I was doing something right at some point, I guess. But I took so much fucking vacation. Like, I just had like such a good time. Like, it was whatever. Or no, that was actually 2017. That was last year. So good for me. But that's what I ended up doing. Like, I could do anything and everything I wanted, but I gave all of that up and came down here to California to work at DKW to assist Danielle for like $12 an hour.
Yeah.
So I went from 20 grand a month to $12 an hour. So was that a step back? In all technicality, yes. But, you know, I don't even like to see it as a step back. I just think of it as I took like a parallel route. Like, yes, this is the road that I was going on, and I just stepped off of it, went to the road next to it that could lead me higher and farther, because that road I was on was going to hit a dead end eventually.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, yes, you can make great money, but there comes a point where you're like, okay, now I'm stuck. Well, now what am I supposed to do?
I think taking a step back too and like becoming the student again. Like, everyone gets to a place where they're like, oh no, I know everything. There's nothing more I can learn. And I think that's the weirdest mindset to have. So I think like just if you're looking at it, like take a step back and go into student mode. Where can you learn? Where can you improve? And learning a new craft, learning more skills, getting better at something so that you can like launch your career, your life in a better direction.
I mean, no one's happy doing kids cuts forever, so you got to just like learn more, add more to your service list, and take back the things that you don't love. Like, we all love doing MBR, so none of us look at getting to learn from Danielle and from Val and from Ani. Like, every day has taught me so much that like I would never want to do a kid cut again, because I love like the glimmer, that look in the client's eyes, and I just imagine it's like a leap forward getting to learn from you guys every day, because, you know, you guys are the best of the best.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, so sweet, Jillian. You keep sucking up. It's getting you farther in life. I'm just kidding. She's not sucking
hired.
up.
She's hired.
All right. You're one step closer to that permanent trainer role, Jill. No,
yes, that was what I was trying to do all along, you guys. I don't actually mean any of that.
She's like, sucker, marking off my checklist of shit I had to say today. No, but that's true. And I feel like even a lot of artists, they look at it when they're like, well, my books are full. I don't need anything else. Like, I'm so great. And they feel like even getting rid of, like Jill, like you said, getting rid of kids' cuts, they feel like it's going to be like, oh, but then I'll have a space, and then I'll have a gap, and then it's not enough. Now I'm a failure in my career. They assume, we've said it before, the busier you are, the better your career is, and not realizing like you're just literally that shit. No offense, those kids are fucking anchors.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in life. I'm just saying in your business. Don't be offended if you have kids. It's fine, guys. So with that, let's talk about something else. Something that we talk about all the time inside of BMS is commitment, and committing not just to yourself and your business, but committing to the process and trusting the process and really just doing the work. And I really feel like the amount of commitment that you shows will completely reflect inside of the profit. And Val, I know this is something you've seen left and right.
Yeah. So if you don't like the money that you're making, you should probably take a look at yourself and see, like, where is your commitment? Because I know anything that I don't like something in life, I have to, like, check myself, because I have to hold myself accountable. So I feel like I'm like loving my results right now, and it's because I'm ruthlessly committed. I'm working constantly. I'm always trying to like grow and improve, and my results are like showing of that. So we have like some students that they see like Danielle, and they see her on Instagram and like, oh, she's so cute and pretty and she lives at the beach and I want that. And then they come in and then they see like the hard work that she does and what our program is like all about, and they're not willing to do that. And then they'll still like complain and kind of be like, oh, well, I mean, this is just, I'm doing all this work and I'm not really like getting paid. It's like, no, you gave like it your go for like a week, you know? You have to be ruthlessly committed for like a long span of time and not staying stagnant. You have to keep growing and pushing yourself. And I know you guys talked about like your capacity last week, and you have to keep pushing past that to see like major results. If you want major results, you have to have major commitment. And I think it's like in a time where people, we're so like flighty these days and have like ADD, and I'm 100% guilty of that. And so you like are committed for like a minute, you know, like I'll do a juice cleanse for a day and then like F that, like back to pizza and cheeseburgers and tacos for life, you know. And same thing like with people's work. It's like, okay, yeah, I really gave it my all for a week and I'm not a millionaire yet. Oh, you don't say. Like, so
interesting.
Yeah, you definitely like, you just have to stay committed. And the longer you stay committed and don't like veer off track, the faster you'll see results. So it's when you keep stopping and getting distracted and don't have that level of commitment and then have to restart again, it slows you down every time. So stay committed, know what your end game plan is. Obviously things will like shift and change in between, but just stay committed to the work and what your end result is, and you'll get there so much faster. And if you're not seeing the results, look at yourself and see what it is that you can like change to make yourself get to your results faster.
And there are so many times where people have asked me, they're like, but Ani, how? Because from the day I took BMS, guys, May 20th will be my official 1 year that the very first BMS ever existed. So I just want to say, I feel like we have to celebrate or do something, because it's been a fucking year. It's been 2 years at that point since I've done BMS, which is insane and very exciting. But it took me from my very first BMS intensive, 14 months later is when I actually got hired on as a trainer. And a lot of people, they ask me, they're like, well, I don't understand, like, how did you do it? There were no testimonials. There was no one behind you saying that it worked. Like, what did you do? And at the end of the day, I was super committed to changing my life.
Definitely.
That's one of the things, like, I knew and I saw no one was going to do anything for me. Garrett wasn't going to hand me shit. Danielle was not going to hand me shit. Val, like, no one was going to be like, you know, Ani, you're kind of funny most days, a little loud, but you're cool. You should totally be on the team. Like, that's not how any of this works. Like, there had to be, Garrett told me, he's like, I watched you for the entire time, 1.5 years, just to see what you were doing. And even and Val can even attest to this one, I would go through inside of like the networks that we had, and I would just start answering people's questions. I was not a trainer. I was not hired on. Garrett used to call me the self-proclaimed trainer, which I was like, thank you. I am flattered. And Val's like, that might have been an insult. I'm not sure at this point. But that's the thing. He saw from the get-go the commitment I had to BMS, to changing my career, my life. And I saw full-on profits from it. In 1 year, I went from working, I've said it before, 6 days a week, 12-hour days, making $4,000 a month, to a year later, working 3 days a week, 3 clients a day, making $20,000 a month. And I did this shit in 1 year. So that's why I tell people, it all comes down to you. I can give you every tool that you want. I can tell you how to do fucking ads and funnels and marketing and strategic seduction. And I can tell you how to do the fucking daily 4 and live videos. I can show you and teach you anything. Between me and Val, we fucking got this shit. NBR, marketing, you name it, you got it from us. But if you're not willing to do anything with it, what do you expect from us at that point? Like, I'm not going to hold your fucking hand. You have to be willing to go forth and put some kind of effort.
You kind of have to eat and live and breathe your dream. If that's what you're committed to, then that's going to be a lifestyle. Don't just let it be like, oh, 1 hour of a day, I'm going to try to commit to this goal that I want to have. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, this is what I fucking want, and that's how I'm going to start my day. My mindset, I have to be in a good mood. I know who I have to be, not become, who I have to be to see the end results of like my journey of my goal. And then once you can have like a big end result, but have like small little markers that you know that you need to hit on the way to that. And once you hit that marker, don't just say, I'm good, I'm cool right now. You got to push to the next one, and then the next one. You can't just ever sit still, because once you're sitting still, you're going backwards. Even if you're like, oh, I'm at the end result, have bigger dreams for yourself. So, yeah. I mean,
amazing.
And I agree though. And I think that's a big thing. People, they're like, what I want to do is I want to make $10,000 a month. They hit $10,000 and they're like, whew, thank God I did that. I'm good. But it's like, wait, but you already made it this far.
Keep going.
How could you stop? I mean, Danielle could have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
She doesn't need the money that comes from BMS. She makes a fuck ton of money sitting behind the chair 2 days a week.
Yeah.
She's good. She could have easily been like, this is fucking stressful. This shit's way too much. I'm just going to do hair, go home, be happy, be with my kids. But she kept pushing and growing. And then we did a BMS class. And then all of a sudden, we did another one. And now guys, next week, we have BMS 14 and 15. We started at 1. Like, that shit's fucking insane.
We started at regular MBR classes, not even BMS.
We started at a group class that I took in March 2016. Still went. It was great. And here's what's actually fucking funny. I was in that group class in March of 2016, and one of the girls that was in there with me, her name's Michaela Breesy. She is actually my very first artist, or she's my artist assist right now for 2 upcoming classes. She's on track to be a fucking trainer too.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And you know why? Because Michaela, we've watched her since the beginning. We've seen her, and she built so much even before BMS, because she only just a few months ago took BMS.
Mm-hmm.
But the work she had beforehand, the commitment she showed was huge.
Definitely.
She had such big results inside of it. And that's why I was like, you know what? The minute I knew I was going to start a new program called Artist Assist, I was like, it's fucking Michaela. She's number 1. Because that fucking woman has hustled left and right to be where she is. So Val, question for you. Where in your life do you feel like there was a point where you were not committed and you saw that reflect in profits? And Jill, I'm going to ask you the same one so you can start thinking.
In profits? Well, I think even coming on to DKW Styling, like at first I was like, oh, okay, well, Danielle's like the creator. So obviously if she's only working 3 days a week, like she's going to have a shit ton of overflow and score, moneymaker. Like I'm just going to like sit there and like it's going to be an easy ride. And I was like, oh my God, it's so hard, like building up this NVR clientele. It's taking forever, because that was not the case. It wasn't like Danielle's like, I have overflow, here you go. It was like, work your ass off. Like I worked my ass off and you're going to do the same thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. So in the beginning, I didn't come in with the correct mindset. I was thinking I was going to just get this overflow and learn the method and just like be her hype girl. And, you know, it wouldn't be as hard as it was. So it definitely took me a while to like get on it. Like, okay, no, I have to get the clients in my chair. I have to perfect my craft so that the clients will be returning. I have to get better and faster at it so I can make more money just in that way. So it took me a while to get like my mindset and my commitment, because I was like, oh my God, this is so much work. And same thing with like training. I never wanted to like be in the spotlight or in front of people, and that just wasn't a role I ever saw for myself. And so it took me a long time. You know, Garrett would teach us things like the Daily 4, which is like doing videos and audios and pictures and text and all this stuff. And I was so hesitant to do everything that he was always teaching me. And had I listened from the beginning, my commitment wasn't there. I was just like, I'll just do like the bare minimum so that I'm not in trouble and could just like not get fired.
Fucking rebel. We now know who the rebel in life is here.
I'm like, I'm just going to stay under the radar. And so my commitment for like even being a trainer wasn't there. And I feel bad that that's how I was showing up. And now, like, obviously my level of commitment is completely different. I'll have you know that the past couple of weeks I've even gone back, which I've never done even in the whole 2.5 years I've been here. And I watched some of the training videos. I watched some podcasts. I took some notes on where I can improve.
What
Yes.
are you?
When we did our vision,
God.
when we did our vision with Garrett on our last BMS boot camp, and like when we did like our doors and like what we're doing, that was it. And I'm like, okay, here comes the painful part. So I'm super fucking committed, and my commitment keeps getting like upped. I've been here 2.5 years, and it came from like zero commitment of like, I'm not even going to do a video or a picture to like, now I'll go back and do my worst nightmare and watch trainings that I've done before, take notes and see how I can improve, and I'll do better on the next one. So yeah, that's my commitment.
Round of applause for her.
No.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
No one here, like, guys, if you're listening or watching, well, if you're not actually watching, just know that we do actually record this live, and you can watch it at bigmoneystylistnow.com if you want to see it, so you can actually see Jillian, what she looks like. I'm sure at this point you know what me and Val look like, so if you want to see our ugly mugs, you can go watch that too. Just kidding. We're fine. So I'm like, oh, someone's going to be like, don't call yourself ugly. You're worth more. I'm like, oh, it was a fucking joke. No one be so serious. But even with that, guys, I've watched all our trainings 1,000 times. Like, I always go back and watch. I watch the videos. I watched the videos from BMS Con 500 times, and those for me were fucking brutal. So back in December, we had the very first ever BMS convention at the Paseo at Huntington Beach, California, and I've seen those videos a lot. Every time I'm like, you were fucking garbage. You did so bad. Oh my, why are you standing like that? Why are you shifting? What are you doing with your arms? Like, why are you speaking that way? I was like, oh, I'm sorry you guys got that part of me. Now I feel like I'll go back and rewatch more videos of like trainings we do. I listen to the podcast all the time. Like, I love it. I love going back and hearing it. So for me, it's so normal. But Val, I'm like, hey, Val, did you go back and watch this? She was like, no. I'm like, oh, did you go back and listen to it? She's like, nope. I'm like, but you sounded really good. She's like, guys, I've been here for 6 months. I've been trying to get her to do this fucking shit for 6 months now. And every time it's been, nope.
I know. My excuse is always, I was there. I know what happened.
And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's different when you go back and watch it. It's just a different experience. You hear it because then you're in the moment. Like now, I have no idea what I sound like. I have my headphones, but in my head, I know what I sound like, look like, speak like. But when you go back and actually watch it, you're like,
I know.
Why did I
feel
just
so
stutter so many
sorry that
times?
I'm on the podcast. I'm like, I cannot believe people have to like listen to this like in their car, that this voice is coming out on the speakers. I apologize, but I can't make my voice. Like, I know some people know how to like shift their voice. I'll work on that, people, but I'm not there yet.
Oh my God.
But
And
the
I
voice
love your
like,
voice.
It's so mousy and annoying. I hate hearing it. But
I only find myself extra nasally sometimes, and I only know because I send audio messages all the time through text, and I accidentally played one of mine, and I'm like,
who is that?
I'm like, who's that lady?
I can't even recognize myself anymore.
That's how I felt. I was like, oh my God, who's that lady speaking? I was like, oh fuck, that's me. All right, that's a good one. But Val, I'm so fucking proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh my God,
So I got notes. So get ready next BMS class, because Val's coming in hot.
Shit's going down.
She's got some notes on what she's improving on, and she's bringing it.
I would like to sit and talk about these notes. Like, I feel like I have to. Guys, you don't understand. I am shocked. Like, this is a big, like, hell just froze over. God's coming down from heaven. Like, this is a big fucking deal. So I'll let you sit in that moment. And so
Thank you.
Here's what else I want to talk about. Passion. Obviously, there's a reason that every single one of us are here. There's a reason Danielle does what she does, that Garrett has Wake Up Warrior. Like, we clearly fucking love what we do. I know for me, hasn't always really been the case. Do you know what I mean? There's kind of been back and forth days. Some days you love it a little more than others. But let's just talk about passion in general. So, Jill, when you hear passion, what does that mean to you?
Passion is just something you can't, like, live without. It, like, deep, like, through your... You just, like, live it, you breathe it, and that's just something that's, like, coursing through your veins. Like, that's when I feel passion. I'm just like, oh, my gosh, like, I feel, like, the warm fuzzies and just, like, tingling inside.
I love it. Val, what's passion to you?
Yeah, like love on another level.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, totally passionate about Big Rhino, totally passionate about being a mom and my little nuggets. And then, you know, I love NBR and BMS.
I know, because NBR and BMS are the best. So, Jill, what's something in life that you are passionate about?
I feel like I'm obviously, like, passionate. Like, I love coloring hair. There's just nothing like it to me. There's such a rush. And just, like, seeing that end result, like, I live for that moment. Like, I am passionate to find, like, any way that I can just continue down so that I can have another client, and so I can just, like, have that, like, end rush and, like, the look on their face. Like, I feel like I'm so passionate about that. It's, like, amazing to me. She'll see me, like, I'll be, like, jumping up and down in the corner sometimes. I'm like, oh, my gosh.
That blend, though.
Nailed it.
Woo.
Do you ever feel like there's been a time in your life where you weren't passionate about something that you are now?
I could use the same example. I feel like literally a year ago, I look back on my life and I was, like, in the darkest, like, most depressed place I ever was. I was in the process of when I was at the booth rent. I was trying to get clients, but I wasn't getting anyone in the door. I just, like, felt, like, lost and, like, my purpose was gone. My husband was super into school, so I was never seeing him. So I just felt, like, so, like, alone, and I couldn't find the passion for hair because I was doing a bunch of colors and a bunch of clients that I didn't want because I wasn't having anyone apply to sit in my chair. I was just accepting anyone who just, like, walked in and wanted me. So I was losing myself because I was like, well, I don't want to put red and blonde stripy highlights in your hair. That doesn't, like, fulfill my end of the blend, though. So it wasn't working for me.
And so now?
And so now it's
Well, actually, let me ask you this. Inside of you feeling like you didn't have passion or like you knew you had passion for something but you weren't working on it, so obviously that affected your work life.
Definitely.
Do you feel like that bled into, like, your personal life, like your marriage with Major and, like, friendships and things like that?
Definitely. I had so many friends right before I got married, and then that was like the 3 or 4 months right after my marriage, and I feel like Major could even be like, I don't know that I married like this like super sad person who never wants to hang out with people, and your friends are texting you and they're trying to come over, but you don't want anything to do with them. Like, I would literally sit on the couch and watch Downton Abbey. If anyone's seen that or haven't seen it, it's an amazing show about British people. But
Side note.
but I would just sit there on the couch all day because I didn't have clients to come in, and I wasn't sitting where I took walk-ins. So I was just like sitting there like staring at my phone waiting for someone to text me. And so I was miserable. I couldn't like socially interact, and so it just like sucked the life out of me.
Val, what about you? Passion. Where in your life have you ever seen, because I know you said you're passionate about the kiddos, the Nuggets, and Rhino, of course. So excluding them, because obviously family is always number one. But do you ever feel like there's been a time where you did not have passion for something that you maybe do now, but you saw like a difference?
I'm getting there about like marketing and stuff like that. I definitely was like, oh, I'm just an artist. I can't do that kind of shit. I don't want to do like numbers and math. I fucking hate math. But now that like I've learned like the marketing side and how it like goes into the artist side, then I'm like, I do feel like I'm like gaining a passion for it because it ends up in profit, and we all know we like the profit part. So yeah, I'm learning to like that aspect of it. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. She's like, tell me I did that right. Well, and something that I find super interesting is that a lot of times, like something that we think we're passionate about, we don't realize it's maybe like another aspect to it. Like for me, I love NBR. I love doing hair. I love NBR. Yes, I have a passion for it, but I know like my true heart and blood, like soul passion is training inside of BMS. Like that is the one thing, if that were taken away from me, I'm telling you, like it would crush my soul. A part of me would actually die, because it's just what I'm supposed to do. That is my heart and soul passion. Not that I don't love NBR. I obviously love it. It was the gateway to all of this, but being here inside of BMS, like this is my thing. This is like where I'm supposed to be. And I know that's how you feel being inside the salon.
Yeah, I could never, we've tried different things, but if you ever take too many days of behind the chair work for me, if you take that away from me, I'm like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm like, my heart is breaking. The passion in me is dying. I need that artistic like outlet. I need to have like obviously the correct clients in my chair, but I love doing color, doing the NBR extensions, and that just like feeds me. So I have to have that no matter what other roles I take on around me. I have to still be behind the chair as an artist doing clients and having that whole experience.
And that's how it is with me, but almost like opposite. That for me, like I have to be in that training aspect and be inside the network with all of our students. And like that for me, that fulfills me. Like that's my happy place. But it's also why Val and I, we always say we're the fucking dream team, where not that one of us falls short, but where one of us falls short, the other's super high, then it's like vice versa.
Yes.
So we literally have all spaces covered at all times. But so talk about like Jill, when you finally went through and like committed to it. You were like, this is it. I'm going to do it. Like, how did that feel? Like, how do you feel like that changed you as a person? Like the way you viewed life?
It did. I kind of just like started looking at everything as an opportunity to improve myself in the future. You know, just my relationships with people. How can I put a good impression on them? This person's really pretty. I would love for her to sit in my chair. So I'm going to put off a good vibe, and just kind of to everyone I met. And then with that, like I was committing to myself that who I needed to be so that I was able to have clients. People wanted to come to me, was a happier person. So then I was putting passion back into myself, which reflected on my end desire of I wanted to see amazing clients come through the door.
I love that you just said that. A lot of times we assume if shit's going sideways, it's because of everybody else. Well, I'm not making money because my clients. Well, I can't do this because the place I work. Well, I can't do that because my boss says, when really at the end of the day, it's us. I've said it before. We are our own biggest weakness. We're our biggest problem. But I love that you said it. You weren't just pouring passion back into your work. You were pouring passion back into yourself. So with that, how do you think that reflects now? Like, do you see yourself differently? Like, what have you done to take yourself from a place of like, fuck, I hate my job, I hate my life, I hate my clients, hate myself, to a place, because you're a totally different person now. Like from the 6 months I've known you, the person who you were 6 months ago, you are not that person now. You are 100 times different. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So what do you think has changed for you in these past 6 months?
I think definitely I used to feel like a victim, like everything was happening to me and around me, and that was affecting who I was. So I honestly just sat down and I looked back on on my life, and I was like, I just have to take accountability for my actions. I have to look at it and say, it's not that it was my fault or like putting the blame on myself, but I was like, well, in that situation, I did this, this, and this. If I had done it this way, the outcome could have been completely different. So I started to be accountable for who I am and who I wanted to see myself as in the future. So I was like, well, I just need to, accountability, but not blame. And so then I turned it around as, this is how I should put forth my energy and put forth like my time, and that's how I'm going to be able to be this person. Like right now, 6 months ago when I was considering taking this job for Val, I never even imagined myself in a trainer position. I was just like, oh, they just do beautiful hair and I would love to be able to do that. And she was like, okay, you're going to have a year-long assisting program. Like, that's what you're going to go through. And then we'll just check off steps. And then at the end of there, we'll see if we'll be offered like a spot at the salon, you know, just based on your work ethic. Today, I've been working at the salon for 6 months. And this morning, I took my first MBR paid client at the salon.
Oh, my God.
And I'm also going to be on the podcast for the first time as a BMS trainer and the webinar. Like, my dreams have come in such a short amount of time, but it's because I looked inwards and I changed who I was being, and because I didn't like the end results. You have to change what's not working in your life to switch it around so that you can be the person you want to be.
Something interesting that Jillian said, right before we started the podcast, like right as we were about to start it, she was like, thank you so much for letting me do this, or for allowing me. I don't know, it was not something weird, but I was like, I don't remember what she said, but I looked at her, I'm like, we didn't just give this to you. I'm like, Jillian, you earned this shit. Like, you have been showing up. And Val was super strict when she hired her on. It's a year-long assisting program.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to be doing. It will take you a whole year. Don't expect to be out on the floor early. Like, it was crystal fucking clear. And now, here we are, 6 months in, and Jillian's out on the floor. Not because we're like, oh, we're desperate, we need people. She's fucking hustled.
Hustled and earned it.
The commitment that she's shown every single day has been insane. And fun fact, I live with Jillian now until this
Two
Friday.
more sleeps.
I know. 2 more nights and Jill and I won't live together anymore because she was waiting for her husband to move here from Salt Lake. But even then, like, I see what she does at home. Every day I come home, that fucking mannequin scares the pee out of me because it's in the middle of the living room. And I walk in, I'm like, ah! I'm like, oh, just Jill practicing again. But I see.
So proud.
Yeah, right? I see she does her power practice every single day. She's not sitting around like, well, hopefully tomorrow I can do something better. Hopefully tomorrow. Like, she takes action every single day, and that's something huge. And accountability, Val, I think is a problem we see inside the network. A lot of our artists say, well, I can't because of, I can't. What do you see? Like, do you have like a message for the artist, or just about accountability in general?
I always go back to like how freeing it is to like have accountability. You never have to have that victim mentality. So if you're looking at your results and you don't like them, look back. What are you doing and how can you change? What is it that you can change so that you would have a different outcome? Whether that's the results of like the money that you're making, whether that's the results of your relationships, whether that's the results of like where you're working, anything in your life. Look at like the back couple steps and see what can change, what can shift, what can you do? Because you can't change anyone else's actions. All you can do is change how you show up and what you deliver, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be the one to like change that. And if you want a different result, you have to do something different. So it blows my mind when like we're teaching stuff and people are like, yeah, I get that, but it's like you don't even get to finish like your what you're trying to like teach them and like show them that there's a different way because they're already in like defensive mode and like, no, I can't. It's like, no, you're never stuck in a way. You're never stuck in a story. You're never like stuck in what you have. You always, always, always have a choice. And with that choice, there's always different like results. So keep changing shit until you like what's happening. And then when you like what's happening, keep on with that and keep pushing and going forward. And you can create, like we always say, like we have lives that are unrecognizable. Like I grew up in a city, and no shame to it, but it's lovingly referred to as Murder Valley. And now, like, we live in Laguna. Like, our kids go to this really cool, like, little hippie school where they have a garden. Like,
you would send your kids there.
I just am like, oh my gosh, I go to a job that I love. I'm not like super stressed out about it. I just like am excited. We have been working like mad women lately because we have so many events going on. The business is booming as far as like NBR, and I'm not stressed. I'm just so grateful. Like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, we really are living our best lives, our dream life, and my life is unrecognizable. But I had to go, same thing like what Jillian was saying. Like, I had to look like what am I not happy about, and what do I want to change, and what does that look like for me? And it took me having this relentless amount of commitment to what I want, and I'll stop at nothing to give my family this dream life that I've like envisioned in my head. And I have like these little visions, and not to sound like a little weirdo, but like when Garrett was first talking about BMS and like presenting that program to me, it didn't even exist. It was just like an idea. And I had this like the little vision in my head, and I saw like all these students and everyone was dressed in black, and I saw these like lights and I saw a stage, and I was like, like just, it was so trippy. And when we did convention last December, when we opened the doors and not even everything was set up, I remember walking in and I was like, whoa, like I took a step back because that was the vision that I saw when Garrett was like talking about it. And I have these like visions of like where BMS is going and like how we're like leading the way. And like, I just want to be that person that can set an example, not to be like a leader, toot my own horn, but just like that you can be a working mom and have some sort of balance in your life, and just that there's a different way, and that you can have it all. You can work, you can be a good wife, you can be a good mom, and just love life. It doesn't have to be like a depressing thing. And because I am so clear on like that's where I want to go, that every decision that I make is leading me on that path to make sure that I am living to that life, and that I can like pave the way for other people to come in and live that life. Like I know Jill wants kids, and I don't want her to be that mom that I was, that went, their water broke doing highlights behind a chair, and then a week later they're back at the salon doing hair. I don't want that for Jill. I want her to like live the life that I'm living now. So I see that like so clear. And so because I have those like weird visions, I have this commitment that I won't stop at anything to make sure that that comes into fruition.
And with those visions, something that we actually do inside of BMS that I've talked about a million times, and I'll talk about it a million more, we call it our vision quest, where we literally sit on the beach and we say, who do you want to be 12 months from now? Who do you want to be? But not just like, where do you want to be? What money do you want to make? But who is that person? Who's that person actually? What does she look like? What does she talk like? How does she walk? What is her job look like? Like, what is she doing? And I will never forget my vision quest. Guys, we literally did it May 20th. I was just looking up at the pictures a couple days ago. And I remember sitting on that beach, and like Val has said, there were times where BMS was supposed to be a one-off thing. Like one class, see if it works, great, whatever, and we're fucking done. But I sat on the beach in that chair looking out at the ocean, and what I saw was me doing this. I saw myself training in this. I saw myself on a stage, but teaching artists, and it getting bigger and bigger. And I always saw me and you doing it. So go figure, here we are still today, the two trainers. But I saw it just getting bigger and what it could do. Given BMS existed for 2 days at this point, guys. Like, there was not even proof this fucking shit was going to work. But it didn't matter. I saw that, and I knew. Like, it's one of those moments in your life where no matter how old I get, no matter how much changes, I will never forget sitting at the Monarch Beach Club, sitting in the chairs right where we were, like right on the sand, just sitting there, feet in the sand. It was super fucking hot that day, and writing in my journal, I'm bawling my eyes out because I knew, like, this is it. It's one of those turning points in your life that you will remember what you were wearing, where you were sitting, what you were doing. Like, that was that moment for me. So then for the next 14 months, that shaped everything I did. The commitment I had to that, and that vision, and that woman that I saw, that changed everything about me. The way I operated, the way I spoke to my clients, the clients that I actually did, every single thing I said, what do I have to do to be a BMS trainer? Even, like I said, being a self-proclaimed trainer, we had like a teeny tiny network where we literally just sent audios back and forth. There were days where Val would go, there's 150 messages. What the fuck are you guys talking about? I'm like, don't worry. I already helped. I got this. And I'm sure she's like, okay, fucking this crazy lady. It's not even a trainer. She won't go away, but she's still here. But that's one of, just like you said, the vision for your children and your life. That's what I had, but it was just for me. I don't have kids. I'm not married, but I saw that for myself. I'm like, that's who I want to be. And then I got there. And then when I got here to Laguna, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm here. I got my title. Okay, but then I was like, but that's not that it's not enough, like, I'm never happy, but I'm like, okay, now what? What's the next part? I'm like, great, I made it. I'm a trainer. I have the title, but now I want to be better. I want to grow. I want to keep doing more. And it's that even comes down to, like, it's not even about money. There comes a point where it's not about money. It's about me and my life and who I am as a person. I want to be better for myself. I want to be happier for myself. I want to be comfortable and look, and this sounds crazy, I want to look back when I'm on my deathbed and look at my life and said, you fucking did it. Good for you. Everything you wanted to do, you accomplished it, you did it. And the last thing I ever want to do is have a regret in my life and say, like, had I not moved here forever, I would have said, what if I had moved to California?
Yeah.
What if I'd grown a fucking pair and said, fuck this shit, left the house I bought, ended my engagement, and moved to fucking California. I would have regretted that for the rest of my life had I not done it. And that I feel is always something that plays in my head. If I don't do this, will I forever regret this decision?
Yeah.
Because moving here, not about the money. I made great money back in St. Louis. It had nothing to do with that. It was about me, the commitment I had to myself, and the life I wanted. So let's kind of talk about that. General terms, when money's not enough, it's not enough to push you. And we tell that to artists. You have to know your why.
You do. And the why in the beginning is to push you through the hard times, because the program is hard. It's more work than like what most artists have been like familiarized with from going to other classes of what they do, from the pre-training to the intense 2-day to the follow-up training. Like it's intense. So that's why in the beginning we're like, you have to know your why, because there's going to be days that you're not going to want to do the assignments. You're not going to want to do the work, and you have to be clear on your why. But then what we've noticed as the program's gone on longer is you start seeing these results. And I remember thinking that when Garrett's like, just wait, you're going to get the results and you're going to get the life you wanted and you're going to encounter different problems. And I'm like, fuck that. I can't wait. Like,
once I got
give me the money.
It's easy.
Yeah, more money, more problems. Yeah, right. Like, fuck that. Give me all the money. I'll be fine. I'll be beachside. Like, it's cool. But it does, like, other things, like, there's this thing inside of you that you have to, like, be fulfilling your purpose for you to keep going. So, like, we've all money-wise have made like great money working here and gotten amazing results, but if you're not feeding like your purpose and your soul, you'll get that same amount of burnout. So that's the other reason you have to know your why. So I feel like for me, I was doing more stuff in the salon and taking on that CEO role, and it came down to like spreadsheets and systems and
details, your fave.
Details, some more details, and that had always, I thought, was my dream, but it actually wasn't like fulfilling my like soul, which sounds like cheesy, but it's not. And I realized I got like super clear, like, oh my gosh, my passion, as much as I never thought I wanted it, was so much more in education than I had given myself like credit for. And I love freaking training these people. I love like the messages, like I know you post it on your Instagram all the time, like that the students send us, or like even stylists who aren't our students but that are following our journey, and anyone that says anything that like you've inspired them or like given them an opportunity or given them the balls to go do something else and find their power, or to, set up boundaries so they have more time with their family, like all this stuff, like that freaking feeds me. And I'm like, okay, I can't like take this position like lightly. Like I started like leading the way, and I wanted to like shift into something different, but I got clear really quick that I freaking like have a passion for like this whole like BMS movement that we have. So I'm so happy to be back like full force with BMS. And that's what truly feeds me. I love like the artist side, and I'm so lucky that I get to do both. So I love like, obviously helping the clients, the NBR thing, but turns out this BMS side, freaking heart and soul as well.
And it's just so, you just can't get rid of it. It's like I was gonna say drug, or I was trying to think of something that doesn't go away, but I don't think herpes would be a good one. So
let's not.
I'm gonna let that one go. For sure, I'm gonna hear kickback on that joke. So.
Oh my God, I didn't see it going there.
Well, I could not think fast enough of something that doesn't go away.
She means cold sores. Cold sores, everyone.
That's a herpes V virus, or is it A? I don't even know actually.
It's the less aggressive one.
Oh my God. So much STD knowledge.
I really have none. That's why I couldn't figure out a better joke. Terrible. So
I don't have one, okay? I just need to clarify for everyone.
So then, Jillian, coming to you, talk about not only is money not enough, but really when you find something that you love, you tend to do it better, which does actually bring you more money and more purpose.
Definitely. So once I moved to California and I was starting to be more hands-on with like the NBR stuff, I realized how empty my life had been before, that now my life was being enriched because of all this knowledge that I had learned, because I had kind of found like my niche in life. I had found my true passion, which was, I was there and I was like working harder than I ever had before. And I mean, I got a raise because she noticed like it was just fulfilling me. Like every single day I was looking at myself and I was like, I fucking like who I'm becoming right now. It's not that I didn't love myself before, but like I love who I am now. And so having that passion going forward, it's pushing me not only to be, a great stylist inside of the salon, but it's pushing me. I want to become a great wife. I want to be a great mother in the future. And so I feel like everything goes hand in hand, like we've been talking about this whole time. So once you finally find something that you're passionate about, you're able to look at yourself in all aspects of life and change those things and find where am I falling short and where can I improve in? So that's, I feel like passion, just, you need it to survive, to live a full life.
And not only that, I feel something that is super important that artists sometimes, they know, I think, like deep down, but they never want to admit it. If you don't like your clients, and someone listening to this right now already has like 3 clients that popped into their head and they're like, I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. Every time I see her name on my books, you just start sweating because you're like, oh, fuck, it's this lady again. You're not doing your best work on these people. Like, I hope you're aware of that because you don't actually like them.
Right.
You don't like that they're in your chair. You're annoyed that you have to do another fucking, not root smudge, but like a gray touch up, the same color that you've been doing for 10 years that you can have mixed up before she even walks in. That shit doesn't feed you. You are not doing your best work on these clients. And so many artists are afraid to say, fuck it, up their prices, stick with the dimensional colors, the balayage extensions, whatever it is they want to do. And then just stick with that because they feel like they're doing something wrong. Like they should have more clients, not realizing, guys, if you just follow what it is you love, you're going to do it 100 times better.
Definitely.
I give everything I have to BMS. I don't care how tired I am, how much sleep I don't have. I don't fucking care what day it is. I do not care. I will give everything I have every day to BMS because for me, it's heart and soul. Like that's where I live. Like that's my happy place. I fucking love it. I'm obsessed with it. No one can take me away from it. Like I'll commit murder for BMS. Like
if you were to cut her open and look at the molecules under a magnifying glass, they would be engraved BMS all over them.
It's so true.
Funny because it's true. But that for me, like because I love it so much, I don't look at it like, oh my God, I have to answer another fucking email, or oh my God, I can't.
Definitely.
Yeah. And
the excitement in her eyes all the time. You just like can tell that she's just so happy with her life.
This is like Val said, we have unrecognizable lives. Like who we were 6 months ago, Val a couple years ago, Jillian 7 months ago. Like we are not the same people. And I think that's something beautiful. I don't think it's something bad like they had to change for their job. No, we grew.
Exactly.
It's growth.
And I think, like, I know people are always like, how do you do it all? Which I am like, because I love everything. I love being a wife. I love being a mom. I love MBR. I love BMS. So, like, that's how I do it all because there's passion in all of those aspects. You don't need to just have it in, like, one area. And then the profit of me being, like, having my passion, living it out in all these different departments is this beautiful, beautiful life. And if I'm so protective of it that if it's not serving and going towards my passion, then it's not a part of my life. And so now everything is like contributing that's in my life right now is contributing to my passion so that I can have this beautiful life that I'm like so appreciative of. But you get the amazing profit results in different ways than just monetary when you are living out your passion and you do things better. If you don't like being a mom, you're a shitty mom. I love being a mom. I'm a pretty kick-ass mom.
You're a great mom. I love your kids.
I love like colors, and the only colors I take on now are colors that like are like bronze and sun-kissed and lived in and have that beachy like natural look, nothing like too harsh. And I will give it, even if it seems like it's going to be something simple, I will complicate the shit out of that and use 20 different formulas to make it the most melted, soft look thing because it's my passion. I
Jill's
freaking
like,
love that. Same thing with the extensions. Like, I'll make your hair to your kneecaps. Like, let's give you the best hair ever.
It's that
and
cousin
then
it vibes.
yes.
It's like, you
Spirit
want a
animal.
bob? No, sorry, we're putting 22s and we're not cutting them at all.
Just a little face frame layering. I hope that's enough.
That's perfect.
You can't catch her dead doing a black hair client. She doesn't love it.
I know.
She won't. No.
It's just, but those, once again, it's things that doesn't feed you. You like it, the NBR part, I'm sure putting it in is fun, the before and after is fun, but you're not like, yes, another black-haired client, I love it, you know? It's just,
No.
I was like, but seriously, no. But those are things, and I think passion is something that we lack in the industry in general, or we say, oh, well, no, I am passionate about it. I have so many clients. That's not passion. That's you're overworking yourself, and you're reaching burnout mode. Those are solidly different things. And like I said, even going back to money is not enough. I was making 20 grand a month by myself. I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted, whenever I wanted, taking the clients that I wanted. I had a great fucking life in St. Louis. But even making all that money, having all that freedom, I wasn't fully fulfilled.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so happy and easy to be like, you guys are great. I'm fucking out of here. Like, this just was not enough. And even now, because I've committed so fully to BMS, I'm only inside the salon one day a week. Every Monday, I do 4 clients a day, 3-4 clients. And then most days I go in early. I go to my headquarters, BMS, which is right down the street. I do some stuff online there. Then I go into the salon. I do my clients. And then from there, I go right back to headquarters because that's my happy place. Like, that's just, I cannot get enough of it. So my thing is, in your life, like, where is it you're missing passion? You know, like, and like you said, if you're not a good mom, you're probably not committed to it. And I know someone's going to be like, how fucking dare you say I'm a bad mom? If what you're hearing from me saying this is that you are a shitty mom, with all due respect, that's a you problem, not a me problem. What I said is, I'm sure there's someone out there that feels like they're not a great mom. You can change that. I can't fucking change it. Val sure as hell can't change it. Jillian can't change it. That's on you. It's one of those things when someone says something to you and it triggers the fuck out of you and you're offended and you're upset. It's probably because it's true.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to look inward on that one, guys. So
I'm looking at Ani because we had a moment like that a month ago, and I went to this training over the weekend. I called her afterwards, and I'm like, sorry, you know how I was like mad and yelling at you because you like picked out all the things I hated about myself and I told you that they were wrong? It was actually because they were all true and I didn't want to accept it. So I'm just going to say, yeah, sorry.
But you know what? But look at that. That shit is accountability to the max, because being accountable for what you do, and come back to my engagement ending, me ending that. We were 6.5 years in. We were set to get married in like less than like a year and a half or something. And for the longest time, I was like, well, it's because he did this, he did that, he didn't do this, that, da-da-da. And then I actually went to the same training as Jillian. All 3 of us did. We just went at separate times. And in it, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, fuck.
So this was my part.
There's a chance, not a chance, there's 100%. I was way more accountable for all the things about him that, not to say I didn't like, but the things that I didn't like, that shit was on me. Like, I created that monster, you know? But it's so interesting now going to that place and having accountability. I can see that. And even like, it sounds weird, but you almost like commit again to, okay, these were the problems I saw. This is what I did to create it. I'm not doing that again. I'm doing it differently now.
And I mean, that's so easy to translate into what you're doing, like behind the chair. If what you're seeing is that you are overworked and underpaid, like, how can we change that? We can change that by cutting out kids' cuts. We can change it by this. You can change it by leveling up your artistic skills, honing in on something, and charging what you're worth. And when you are charging what you're worth and getting paid for that, you are way more apt. Like, if you're getting paid $20, you're putting into it $20 of service.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting paid $1,200, you better believe the pressure is on that you're delivering $1,200 worth of work. Someone's paying you that. Like, you better freaking deliver. So I think that part is like, I always say it, but it is like so freeing. If you don't like something, you can change it. So why wouldn't you?
And that's just not, and it's not even just about work and things like that. Like, yeah, it's where we see it the most. But even like you said, if someone isn't serving you and your vision and where you want to go, they're out. Guys, that comes down to people. Like, even the people, like these 3 people in this room include Garrett and Danielle and then the other trainers and artists. I swear we're the only friends we have. Why? Because we just know, like, this is where I'm going, and I'll include the Warriors in on that as well. But this is where we're at. This is where we're going. You fucking hop on or get the fuck out of our way, because we're not stopping.
Yeah.
We're not slowing down, and we don't have time to invest in other people that don't serve us, but that are going to drag us down or become anchors, or that are just, this sounds shitty, more time than they're worth.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of extra time. So I know if I'm going to invest in anyone, is it going to be Sally Joe down the street who pisses me off half the days? Or is it going to be Val? It'll be Val every single day of the week. Val's
for
like,
sure.
It's always me. Fuck you guys. I'm number 1. She is my number 1 though, for real. But even that, like, it comes down to people. And Jill, I know that you've had issues like that before with friends that at the time you were like, they're great. And then with a little hindsight, maybe not so much.
I had this, she was my best friend since middle school. You know, we've been so close forever. I started doing something we teach, it's like daily for. So I have to write a Facebook status every day. And I've been posting them for a while. And then she commented something like really rude on there, like, do you like want attention or something? Like, why do you keep posting on here? Like, are you like in 5th grade? Why are we still on Facebook? And I just,
you fucking bitch.
I was like, okay, can you step back? Because what are you even doing in your life? But I mean, whatever. Besides the point, besides looking at her, I just looked in and I was like, why am I still trying to please her? Why am I looking for her validation in my life? Like, I am fucking cool and I don't need you telling me because I'm using this to make more money in my life. I'm using this to get a fucking profit so that I can live the life I want, because that's who I'm becoming. I'm becoming comfortable with that. So who are you to let me feel bad about myself? I was done with it. And then I just started looking at it as not like I'm letting her make me feel that way. She's not making me feel that way. I'm letting her do it. And so then I just was like, oh, it's not a her problem. It's a me problem. I'm not going to let that ever affect me again. And I'm going to take full accountability.
And that's amazing. That happened to me once with, I won't say who was a team member, but we kind of got into it. We had a huge collision. And I text this person after and I'm like, you're so disrespectful. You're so fucking rude. And this person texted me back and was like, oh, that's a feeling you have. I didn't create that. You created that. And of course I'm like, motherfucker. I was even more mad at that point. But then I really had to sit back and take a look and be like, well, was I disrespected? Do I just feel that way? But it takes a lot. I feel you really got to look inward a lot when shit like this happens. But at the end of the day, really we're wrapping up. It's been almost an hour now. That's kind of sad. I'm like, no, let's go for 10 more days, guys. It's great. So Val.
Yes.
Final words on profit being commitment, passion, and that it's not always about the money, taking a step back. Like, final words.
If you don't like the results in your life, look at what you can change, because you can change anything that you want and get the results that you want. So figure it out. Take the time to figure out where it is that you want to go and what you can do to change what you're currently doing to get to those desired results.
Coach Jillian?
Recognize your passion and let it feed you and let it grow, because with that, you will find that you want to be committed and you will live that in every aspect of your life. And with then, don't worry about the profit. Worry about what you love doing and what's feeding you, and then the rest will come.
Absolutely. And guys, at the end of the day, you know you're sitting there and there's already been a thought rolling through your head of that thing that you have not been committed to. You already know what it is. You don't have to listen to us to sit here and tell it to you. You know. You have all the answers that you need, but there's a reason you've been pushing it away. It could be fear, because you're scared. It could be because it's the unknown, or it could be because it's something you wanted for so long that you're actually so fucking afraid to get after it. So here's what I want you to do until next week. Take time and really think about it. What in your life have you not been committed to? Is it your husband? Have you not been committed to making the relationship better? Has it not been your children? Have you not really been committed to giving your children the time and energy and love that is needed to raise tiny fucking humans? Because God knows it's a lot. Or is it your business? Is it your business partner? Is it your clients? Is it you? Are you so willing to give everything to anyone else and you never commit to yourself? Take a look at that. And then the second part I want you to look at is passion. Where in your life do you have no passion? And it could be inside of your color business. It could be with your clients. Once again, it could be with your husband and wife. Passion's a huge thing inside of marriages, guys. This doesn't just relate to business. Where in your life are you not seeing the profit that you want to see, whether it be money, whether it be time, whether it be freedom, because you have not committed to anything, or you haven't found your passion, or you're pushing it away? This is something we can only help you to a certain extent. We can tell you what to do. We can tell you what we would do, but we can't force you to do anything or think anything. So just think about it for the next week. And if you want to watch us live, or not watch us live, but if you want to watch us and see what we look like and all the fun that we're having inside the studio, go to bigmoneystylistnow.com. And guys, Jillian, thank you so much for being here today. I'm super fucking proud of you.
Oh,
Killing it, girl.
love you both.
You nailing it, girl. You deserve to be here. And until next time, we'll see you guys next week.